Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a new programming challenge on finding whether a number is a prime number or composite number. Okay, so whenever we check over the internet, a prime number has different ways of explanation, and its definition is explained by people through different methods. Some prefer explaining prime number as a number multiplied by one other than the other numbers, and many other different ways. My way of explanation is pretty simple. So what I do is I first explain you what how to find a composite number, and then the numbers excluding the composite number is your prime number. Okay, so what is this? Don't worry, I'll be explaining you this. Okay, so let's look through a certain list of numbers that I've written. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so as we know by the definition of mathematics, 1 is neither a prime number, it's neither a prime number, and it's neither a composite number. Okay, so it's none of that. So we do not count prime number 1 into our prime number. So just let me just cut that off. Okay, so now we've got 2 and the upcoming list. Okay, so what happens with 2 is the way what I my explanation is like, find a number, take a number which you want to find, then start dividing it from a list of numbers starting from 2. So we've got a number 2 here, so we will start dividing it by 2. Okay, so 2 divided by 2, so like we'll just do it simple maths. 2 divided by 2, 2 ones are 2, and then subtract that, yeah, 0. Okay, so I'm sorry for my writing, but I hope you understand what I'm explaining. Okay, so we've got a remainder as 0 and a quotient as 1. So this means that we have got a prime number. So how did this happen? So the basic concept is that a number is a prime number if it is only divisible by its own digit. Okay, so did you understand that? A number is a prime number if it's only divisible by its own digit. So if we say 2, so 2 is divisible by 2, so the 2 is resultant is a prime number. Okay, so let's see now with 3. 3 again, 2 is not divisible by 3 is not divisible by 2, and 3 is divisible by 3. So 3 is again itself a prime number. Okay, so 3 is a prime number. Okay, now let's see what happens with 4. Okay, so 4, what happens is we start checking from 2 onwards, 2 till one number less than the given input. Okay, so our given input here is 4. So we will check with 2 and we will check with 3. Okay, so is 4 divisible by 2? Yes, because 4 is divisible by 2 and the remainder is 2, right? So the remainder is 2. So that means 4 is not a prime number. It is not a prime number, while 4 is a composite number. Okay, so just let me write that down. 4 is a composite number. So that's simple. So now let's go ahead with 5. Okay, so 5, what happens is we check through from 2 till 5. Okay, so 2 is divisible by 5. 5 is divisible by 2? No. 5 is divisible by 3? No. 5 is divisible by 4? No. But 5 is only divisible by itself, which means 5 is a prime number. 5 is a prime number. Okay, so simply we will keep on going ahead with the numbers, and we will try to put this explanation into a form of a program. So that's simple. I will explain you how you do it. So let me just take you to my compiler. Okay, so now I've come to my compiler, and let's start programming this program. Okay, so for this program we will be needing 3 basic syntaxes of Python. The first one will be if and else condition, the second one will be integer input function, and the third one will be continue and break. Okay, so in this tutorial you could even use while loop for this or a for loop. It's up to you, but I would go with a for loop. Okay, so let me first create a integer number input field. Okay, so let me just call that number input. Okay, let me just zoom this for you guys so that you can see. Okay, so number input integer, and let me put our input prompt, and inside my parenthesis I will just say please enter a number. As simple as that. Okay, so that's it. And let me now just create a for loop. Okay, so for I in range, 2 comma number input. Okay, so it's as simple as that. If number input divide by the I of our range is equal to 0, then that's a composite function. So I will introduce a f string in this so that we get a number input and say that this is a number, example 42. So 42 is a composite number. So I'll just input f string. So to input f string, you just put a f and then you intend it. After the f, you put an indentation and you continue your line, whatever you had to write. So I will write is a composite number. Okay, and in to bring out a variable, we'll have to put a curly braces, and inside that we will write a variable which we need to provide. So here I'll be providing my number input. So it would come like say 42. So it would show us that 42 is a composite number. Okay, so let's try and check this out. Let me just run this program. Let me just check if they ran. Okay, so please enter number. Let's say I put 42. 42 is a composite. Don't worry, I will explain you what happens. So the first part of our program is come exactly perfect. Okay, so now we will have to go through our next condition, that is coming to know whether our number is a prime number. Okay, so simply we'll just put an else condition, else print. Let me just copy this down. I'm very lazy, and just let me copy this down. Control C, and let me just tweak some changes into it. Instead of composite number is a prime number. As simple as that. Okay, so now it says please enter a number. So I enter number 3 and let's check the output. So yes, it says 3 is a prime number, perfectly running as expected. Okay, so now let me rerun this program and check out. It says 5 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. So why is that so? Why doesn't it show the output just a single time instead of showing it 3 times? So what is going wrong in our program? So let's try to understand looking at our program. So I have made a for loop and I've given a range from 2 to input, and I've given an if and else condition. I will simply put a break. So what that break would do is, as soon as it comes to know that the number is a composite number, it would that moment stop compiling and it would just break at that point, and it would only show the output a single time, which would mean that we would see prime 5 is a prime number only once. So I would also type the same break statement to the else condition, and now let's run the program and check. Okay, so it says please enter number. Okay, let me zoom that in. Just give me a while. Okay, so I will print 40 and it says 40 is a composite number, and that's it. It does not print continuous amount of times because I have used the break statement. As simple as that. Let me try this again and I will print 1. Okay, so now there's an issue. When I type 1, it just shows an empty output, nothing visible. Why is that so? That is also very simple, because we haven't registered 1 into our range. So we will do that with another statement saying that if our input is less than 1, we will say that our number is not a prime number, because simply 1 isn't a prime or composite number, 0 isn't a prime number, and all the negative numbers are not prime numbers, so they do not come into our range. So we will simply say that if our number input is less than 1, and then we would for this we would say if our number input is greater than 1, and then we would input a whole range function into the if statement. Okay, so let me just show you that. Okay, so yeah, so for an I in range input, and let me just intend it properly. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And yeah, let me just intend that, and I've done that. And now let me just run this once again. Okay, and let me just make an else condition saying that if my number is less than 1, I would just print a f statement saying that with my curly braces, my number input is not a prime number. As simple, nothing complicated goes into this. Okay, so my number input is not a prime number. Simple. And let me just run this now and check it out. Okay, there's a syntax error, excuse me for that. And yeah, let me just change that out. Okay, let me get this out. Okay, it's simple. And yeah, okay, now this program runs perfectly. And let me just zoom in and like give my integer input 1. So it gives the correct input saying that output saying that 1 isn't a prime number. As simple as that. And now -1. Also, -1 is not a prime number, so our program is giving an output saying that -1 isn't a prime number. Okay, so it's that way. Now 3. 3 is a prime number just one single time instead of the same number being printed n number of times. So that's it from today's video, where we learned how to make a program which decides whether a number is a prime number or a composite number by using an if-else condition, a for loop, and a break statement.